Testing speaking skills. Speaking as a productive skill. The, the aims of language teaching courses are very commonly defined in terms of four language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Speaking and listening are said to relate to language expressed through the oral medium, and reading and writing are said to relate to language expressed through the visual medium. Widdowson 1985 describes usage performance, the aspect which makes evident the extent to which the language user concentrates his knowledge of linguistic rules. Use is another aspect of performance that which makes evident the extent to which the language user demonstrates his ability to use his knowledge of linguistic rules for effective communication. As one aspect of with reference to usage, it is then perfectly true to say that speaking is productive and makes use of the oral medium. Widdowson 1985 describes that the act of communication through speaking is commonly performed in face-to-face interaction and occurs as part dialogue or other forms of verbal exchange. What is said, therefore, is dependent on an understanding of what else has been said, whether by the speaker or the interlocutor in the interaction. Widdowson 1985 further explains that the act of speaking normally in the course of natural communicative interaction involves not only the use of vocal organs to produce sounds, but also the use of gesture, the movement of the muscles of the face, and indeed of the whole body. All of these non-vocal accompaniments of speaking as a communicative activity are transmitted through the visual. Procedures of assessing speaking skills. 1. Purpose and research. A. Purpose. What the tester should know before giving a test is why exactly he is doing it. Tests can be used to ask for basic kinds of questions. The fifth aptitude test for language learning doesn't usually include oral techniques. Proficiency test. What is the learner's general level of language ability? Placement test. Where does this learner fit in our teaching program? Diagnostic test. What are the learner's particular strengths and weaknesses? Achievement test. How much has the learner learned from a particular course? B. Research. To make an assessment successful, we should design it to be carried out using the available research. There are three different kinds of research: people to administer the test, and also to mark or remark the test afterwards. Available three-stage development, improvement, and cycle facilities such as rooms and furniture for testing and sound or video recording equipment. 2. Test types. There are some general types of oral tests. There are cross-reference to the detailed description of elicitation techniques described in the next part. A. Self-assessment. B. Teacher assessment. C. Peer assessment. D. Who does the learner speak to? The learner in an oral test has to speak, so who is going to speak to whom? Apart from tests recorded in a language laboratory, there are four possibilities of communication: learner, interviewer, assessor, learner, interlocutor, learner group. A. E. The direct interview type. F. Mechanical predictable test. G. Recording oral test. H. Sequencing test techniques. I. Computer in language testing. Elicitation techniques of tests. There are a lot of oral techniques and their variations, but only the common ones are briefly described below. These techniques encourage learners to speak by giving them to speak about: discussion, conversation, oral report, role play, interview, questions and answer, reading blank dialogue, using a picture or picture story, giving instruction, descriptions, explanations, retrieving story from oral or written stimulus, reading aloud, translating, interpreting, sentence repetition. Marking system. The descriptions of each of these systems is given below. 1. Marking recorded oral test. 2. Marking keys or marking protocols. 3. Marking categories. 4. Wait time. 5. Rating scales. 6. Impression marking. 7. Additive marking. 8. Subtractive marking. Conclusion. Developing assessment for speaking skills requires hard work both for the assessment and the marking procedures. The designing of an oral productive test can be summarized as follows: identifying the purpose of the test and the available research, determining the test type, choosing and formulating the best oral test techniques, choosing and designing the most suitable marking system, evaluating the test, checking whether the test worked properly, and administering the test and then marking the result. Thank you.